Hello once again, and welcome to another edition of the SaskAgToday.com Roundtable. I'm joined by the Chief Agricultural Editor of SaskAgToday.com, Kevin Hirsch, as well as the Agri-News Director for 620 CKRM Regina, Ryan Young. I'm Doug Falconer, Agriculture Director at GX94 Yorkton. And of course, we're into late August, and the first thing that's on everybody's minds is harvest. And of course, you're in the southwest region there, Kevin. How's harvest going out in your direction?
It's full swing here, and the Saskag crop report, if I remember the numbers, put the Southwest ahead at 23%, 12% province-wide. So yeah, and that's not abnormal. Southwest is often the first ahead. I would say the Southwest will also have the biggest variability in yields. Late-seeded crops and crops that were in areas that got more moisture, there's going to be some good crops, but there's also going to be some disappointing crops in the Southwest. I would expect the range of yields here to be wider than many other areas. But overall, this crop, with all the reports, seems to be getting bigger and bigger.
Ryan, how's harvest looking in that Regina area?
I'm starting to see a few more combines out and about. It's slowly starting to ramp up. I was mostly on the road this week. Our country cookout contest has started, and we were in the Melville area to start. We visited the mixed farm of Jordan and Stuart Cease, and then yesterday on Thursday, we were in the Osage area, southeast of Regina, where we visited Ted and Lori Glover. Both have started their harvest. They have one crop off so far. For the Glovers, it's barley, and for the Ceases, it's, if I remember correctly, peas. They were straight cutting peas. So I didn't ask them anything about early yields or how that's going yet. That's going to be a question for next week for sure. But I could imagine that could be variable. I remember in the crop report as well, there was some early grades of winter wheat and fall rye, and they seem to be okay overall. Most of them in the top two grades, so that's a good sign despite the variable conditions. And around Grand Coulee there, nobody has really started harvest yet, but I could imagine that could start in the days ahead.
Yeah, here in the Yorkton area, we took out GX94 supper in the field on Wednesday night to the Dylan and Kristen Lindholm farm near Okla. And of course, Ryan will know where Okla is. It's about halfway between Priestville and Kelvington. And they hadn't started yet. And actually, on the drive up, I only saw one combine in the field, but a lot of the fields around here are dead ripe. So they've been desiccated, but haven't seen a whole lot of activity yet. But I'm sure that's going to pick up now. We've had some really nice warm weather here, and I would say perfect combine conditions, other than maybe not enough wind, because Kevin, you know what that's like when you have no wind in your combine and you can't see anything in front of you.
Yeah, I've played that game a little bit this week, where you're cutting and you think everything's going well, but you really can't see your head, or you're relying on your automatic height control and hoping that something isn't pushing or plugging. If the wind is in the wrong direction, or the wind is too lazy and not moving the dust away, especially at night, that can be very difficult.
And anecdotally, I can tell you that my brother, who farms in south central Saskatchewan, could be finished today if the weather holds. So he didn't have a huge crop to take off, but he's real close. So obviously, that southern part, the extreme southern part of Saskatchewan, a lot of harvest progress going on there. As for prices, we've seen canola plummeting all week, other grain prices as well. Kevin, are you surprised by that?
It is a little disconcerting to see prices so soft on everything from peas, which of course are caught up in the whole China tariff situation, but everything from feed barley to lentils to canola, which everybody watches, especially on the futures market. Everything is soft, and oftentimes nearby delivery is not available. You have to make plans to deliver some months in advance if you want to make a sale. So it's all the reports of a bigger and bigger crop and world situation on top of that. Prices are very, very soft. It's a disconcerting time.
We've also had reports over the last week or so of some significant hailstorms in the province. Ryan, you had a chance to catch up with a couple of hail experts on that.
Yeah, first I talked to Rodney Shetler with Municipal Hail Insurance, and not surprisingly, they were incredibly busy in the days after one particular weather pattern on Wednesday. Kind of swept through parts of Alberta, kind of split off in between to two cells, kind of in the southwest, west central, pretty much most areas of the province, unless you're in the southeast there, and a little bit into Manitoba as well. And when I talked to Rodney, he said that they had over 700 claims come in so far due to hail, and he was anticipating a whole lot more to come. So it's so busy, in fact, that he said to farmers to have a little patience, as it could be 3 to 6 weeks before an adjuster comes out to check things out. So kind of a backlog there, and that's kind of on top of the many claims that they have from a previous hail event back on August 13th. So they got their work cut out for them. And then for Ag Direct Hail Insurance, talked to Bruce Lowe, and he said between the three prairie provinces, they had 110 claims come in so far, the bulk of which coming from Saskatchewan as well. And he said that from some farmers, their crops are totally decimated in some areas, and kind of gives them credit too, in the sense that they have that persistence and that resolve, and able to keep even a sense of humor about kind of the situation, and in the sense of, I've seen this before, I might see this again, so oh well, we'll just deal with it when it comes. So they're working through their claims as well, but I'm sure those numbers are higher now compared to when I talked to them earlier in the week.
And I know you had experienced some hail a week or two ago. Was a lot of producers in that southwest part of the province having issues with hail?
Yeah, there's been that was a hailstorm actually mid-July that hit through this area to greater or lesser degree. So we've missed, or this area missed that storm that went through the just recently, at least largely. But now you don't have to go very far north or south, and that might not be the case. But we missed it here. But when such a large body of claims come in, with harvest underway or nearly underway, and it's going to take 3 to 6 weeks to get an adjuster out. In many cases, producers will have to leave check strips because they'll want to go in and harvest what is harvestable, but then have to leave check strips so that the adjusters can assess the percentage of damage.
Of course. And something else that happened this week, just outside of Regina, Saskatchewan Agriculture Minister Daryl Harrison announced the Crown Grazing Lease Rental Reduction Program for 2025. Ryan, you had a chance to listen to some of what Daryl Harrison had to say.
Yeah, they're offering the program for this year again, as they have over the last couple of years. And that program is the result of the drought conditions that livestock producers, especially, have endured in recent years. So it's back up for another year. The producers have until October 31st to apply for the program to have their rent reduced if they're leasing crown land that's used for grazing and pasture and so on. If producers, if I remember it right, reduce their grazing herd by 20% or more compared to the carrying capacity of the crown land, then they're eligible for the program. So those details would be on the Government of Saskatchewan website if producers want to check that out and kind of reduce their costs. And I'm sure they will take advantage of that, because anytime you can reduce your costs, of course, you're going to take full advantage of it.
Evan, I think this is the third year in a row they're offering this. Obviously, that's a good news for the livestock producers out there.
I think it makes very great sense. If the carrying capacity is X and you're well under that, it's reasonable that your lease rate be reduced, and better for the land too if you're not overgrazing it. So I think it's a program, government program, that makes a lot of sense.
Finally, to wrap up our program this week, we wanted to talk a little bit about the rumor that's going around out there that Peavy Mart could be making a comeback. There was a report on a website, I guess last week or early this week, suggesting that Peavy Mart could be returning in northern Alberta for now as soon as this fall, but they would plan on perhaps expanding into Saskatchewan again down the road. What's your reaction to that news, Kevin?
That is a surprise. Hearing it from you is the first that I'd been aware of that. Rare to see a company, fall into financial difficulty, sell off, and then stage a comeback. So that would be quite something. But I'll remain a little bit skeptical until I see it.
All right. Well, on that note, that'll do it for this week's edition of the SaskAgToday.com Roundtable. On behalf of 620 CKRM Regina Agri-News Director Ryan Young and the Chief Agricultural Editor for SaskAgToday.com Kevin Hirsch, I'm GX94 Yorkton Agriculture Director Doug Falconer saying so long until next time.